Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's March 12th, 2022, and Thea and I have been working on shallots today. So, went down to the root cellar yesterday and got the last 4 bins. And we already separated out in November all the biggest shallots and got those planted up in the third food forest. And Thea worked on a couple of bins the last few days. We're trying different techniques to see how we can get the shallots processed. So the way we're going about it now, the real small ones here, I'm planning on doing some planting in the food forest as companion plants, the really small shallots. And the rest of them, the first step is, Hank, I don't need your help right now, thank you. Yes. It's your dog, hon. So, need a good sharp knife. And so the shallots, they come in clusters when they grow. And the clusters, there can be as many as, like this is a small triplet here, but there may be 12 to 24 shallots growing in a group, and this is just one of the groups. So there might be 12 of these up to 24 of these. And so what I'm doing right now is just separating them. And the shallots, these Dutch red shallots, really last a long time, and I think the reason that they store so well is because of the tight wraps that they have. So my goal is to cut off the bottom of each one of the wraps. So here's a couple that are together here, so I'm going to go right across the top, try to open up the tops of both and across the bottom of both. Now I can put those into a bucket there, and once I do enough of those, and this is a small enough one, we'll put in with the into the food forest. And these came out of the ground, I think, in July. I think that there is a harvest video showing me harvesting these. And so we've had almost 8 months of storage in the root cellar. And we do have a few that have started to go bad. But that's the way I get them to this point. And then Thea will take them to the next step. So Thea and I are both sitting down now to add some audio to the video footage that you're about to see now. But the first thing I would say is the Dutch red shallots store so well, most likely because they're so tightly wrapped. The wraps are multiple layers. They go from the root mass to the crown that the green foliage would come out of. So it's so important to dry them off first. They're pretty clean when they come out of the ground. You just shake them off or rub them off a little bit with your hands and let them dry out, and then let them cure in the air drying racks. So we've tried other techniques for processing them like we're doing now, but a little bit differently. So one technique we've done is the same way we've done it with beans and with garlic. I take the cloves or the beans, put them into a 5-gallon bucket with a mortar mixing paddle or a paint mixing paddle, hook it into a cordless drill, and beat the heck out of them, and then Thea is able to remove the remaining outer wraps. But we found that didn't work so well in this particular case. The number of bins we had them about 5 foot tall, so we had about 7 of these black bins completely loaded. We'd hoped to sell some, but we didn't have any luck on Craigslist. So, Thea, what are your thoughts on this process?
I like this way of doing it. I think we'll do it this way forever. As you can see, once Kevin's cut the ends off, I go ahead and peel the covering off, which basically is getting your fingernail underneath and getting it started. There might be a couple bad spots that we missed at that time, that we get rid of. And this is the way to go. This is the way we'll do it from now on.
and it seems to be fairly efficient. But whenever you're doing homesteading or food preservation on a homestead and all, or in a small scale farm, it's monotonous, tedious work. And one of our goals is always to reduce the amount of time and effort we have to we invest into storing this food. And when you freeze this food, it can last for years potentially in the freezer. So, I guess in summary, there'll be a little bit of footage with Thea showing the freezer bags as well. But if you have any comments, suggestions, ideas that you have, please feel free to leave them below and give us a thumbs up and share this video if you find it of value. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye. Hi, so I wanted to show you just what we do after we get the outside off of the shallots. Oh, thank you. And then we freeze them. And so I have my Ziploc bag here. We always label things, shallots. And I put this year on it, even though we picked it last year, but this is the year it's going in the freezer. And Kevin found this little nifty jobber stand, and it's good because you can do small bags or tall bags, and it just helps so that you don't need 3 hands to get things in. So here's what I did the last 4.5 hours. And this helps to kind of get them in here. So you just scoop them up and fill it maybe about 3/4 of the way. And then I lay them flat inside of the freezer. So far out there we have 12 of them. And I think we're going to get at least 3 or 4 on this one. Oop, this side one.
So what will you use these for?
So I use it kind of like a seasoning. So if we're making any kind of stew or any casserole, and I need kind of an oniony garlic flavor in there, then if it's a stew, I'll usually use them whole. But if it's something else, I'll cut them up or put them in the blend tech just on a quick pulse. So just kind of fold it down, get the air out, zip it. They all get stacked on top of each other, you know, in the freezer. The nice thing about these is it also has almost a sweet taste to them, you know. Which a lot of people like. My girlfriend likes that, Jane, and all. So that's it. So I will finish getting these in bags, get them out in the freezer, and then we'll see you later.